Good morning, everyone, and thanks for taking your time to listen to our proposal today. Based on our own personal experiences growing up, we've been exposed to a lot of the tensions prevalent in the US-China relationship. So when we heard about this competition, we were excited to see what we could do as students to help improve the situation that we face. So to introduce ourselves, I'm Melissa Myers, and I'm from the Carlson School of Management.
I'm Juliet, and I'm also from Carlson School of Management.
And my name is Yanai, and I'm from the College of Science and Engineering.
And our other peer is Rowan, but she's unable to join us today, but we do have a recording for part that we will show you guys as.
And here is our team. We are going to creating a mentorship relationship between the US and China student and professional from different industry in both countries. And here is our agenda. So first, let's walk through our topic relevance. I would like to know what issue we want to address with our program. So we all know that over the last few decades, the relationship between China and US is very complex. There are always tension and cooperation coexist between the two countries. And here we name a few issues and the cooperation. For example, the long-lasting Taiwan issues and the dispute of the One China policy, and also the ongoing trade wars and the territory issues between the two countries, for example, the South China Sea. But there are also cooperations between the two countries, like US and China, they partner with each other to address the impact of the climate change to our human world. And let's look at the individual level. There are lots of Chinese international students in the US, and Chinese international student is the largest international student group in the US, and also lots of US international students in China. But both of them are struggling with a similar problem, for example, the language barrier and the educational system, etc. And what's the reason for these differences? One main reason may rule in the cultural differences and the distance. For example, the US emphasizes the individualism, which means we will prioritize our personal goal more than the group or family or community. But for the Chinese side, they will emphasize the collectivism, which means they will prioritize the group's goal over the personal goal. And also the business style is different. For example, the American will emphasize efficiency and speed when they doing business, while the Chinese tend to be thoughtful, tend to build up the relationship first before making deals, and tend to be the slow decision maker. So this gap between the two cultures will probably negatively influence their communication, and which will polarize them and harm their long-term coordination. So next, I will pass the challenge part to Elizabeth.
So after looking at the broader topic relevance of the US-China tensions, we decided to be fitting to look at more specific challenges that the US and China face to properly assess what our solution could be. So first, we looked at the broader tensions between the relationships, including political differences, military tensions, humanitarian concerns, intellectual ownership, and economic competition such as tariffs. Underlying all of these are immense cultural differences, which are not by any means inherently bad, as having different cultures is part of what makes our world so beautiful and diverse. However, what does become an issue is cultural distance. And when instead of trying to understand each other's cultures, people address them with prejudice and without cultural understanding and cohesion. Also, on an individual basis, international students, whether in China or in the US, face a wide array of barriers. These include social barriers, cultural divide, different academic environments, underlying prejudice, stress and anxiety, and language barriers. This means that even when a student is studying abroad and trying to fully immerse themselves in the regional culture, they might face barriers that actually inhibit them from doing so and can leave them feeling more ostracized than they did before. So we decided we need to address these barriers and define our ultimate challenge as crossing the divide, or by promoting sociocultural growth in American and Chinese students by fostering positive business relationships that are all going to help mitigate the tensions between the US and China. Now, this challenge sounds pretty broad, and this could be addressed in many manners. And as students, we only have access to certain resources. So when looking at all these various sources of tension, we had to decide what would be the best and most feasible way for us to address them. When looking at social, political, technological, and economic tensions, we came up with a program called the Bilateral Mentorship Program that in the long run will help influence all these factors. So today, I'm excited to go over the program outline, the mentor-mentee responsibilities, and benefits with you all, so you can better understand our program. So first off, what is our bilateral mentorship program? We plan to pair one student from China who's studying at the U with a US-based professional mentor. Similarly, students at the U who are studying abroad in China through one of our programs, we plan to pair with a Chinese-based professional mentor as well. Our program requirements are quite simple, as we want to foster an organic relationship without it seeming like a burden. So all we ask is that they meet 4 times a semester, which can take place in a casual conversation, job shadowing, community events, informational interviews, or the like. Here is a suggested schedule of what this program may look like. It takes place over 15 or 16 weeks to follow an academic semester. We say that in the first few weeks, they can meet and greet, such as through our kickoff event, which we'll explain later. And in the following weeks, they are supposed to meet 3 more times, such as through a job shadow, a community event, and a professional event. Again, this can look whatever is more amenable to the mentor and mentee relationship. This is just a suggestion, and they can see what's best for their relationship. So in terms of responsibilities, it's very important that both parties remain open-minded. They're going to be interacting with either a mentor or a mentee who has a different cultural background than what they're used to. They have different approaches to business practices and just to social norms. So being open-minded and understanding of those differences will be critical to program success. Mentors should also be an available resource and be willing to answer questions and provide insights as the mentee asks. They should also be able to connect mentees to other resources as fit. For example, if the mentee has an interest in the industry that the mentor is not a part of, but they know someone in that industry, it'd be beneficial for them to connect all those parties and meet as a group to help discuss those questions that the mentee has. Ultimately, and most importantly, we want our mentors to be open to building a meaningful relationship with the mentee, as this relationship is where both professional and sociocultural benefits will be amplified. The mentee also, as we mentioned, should be open-minded, and we mostly ask that they're engaged overall. So this can take place in being proactive, being coachable, willing to learn, setting goals, and making plans. We want them showing the mentor that they are engaged and excited to learn all the experience on both a professional and personal perspective from their mentor. So once both parties are fully engaged and taking responsibility for their part in the program, there will be a wide array of benefits. We'll go over the impact more later, but to start, here are a few benefits that each party will face. Mentors will get personal satisfaction from contributing to the future generation and being able to share their culture. They'll also be able to learn from their mentee and from their culture who comes from a different background. They'll be able to develop teaching and advising skills, and it's a great opportunity for self-reflection as well. They can expand their own personal skills by attending different conferences and events with their mentee. They also, again, get to teach mentees their cultural practices and help enhance the cultural understanding between the US and China relationship. Mentees will get great professional opportunities and increased networking, which will enhance their professional and learning opportunities and prospects for the future. They'll undergo cultural expansion and feel more connected to an environment that once felt so foreign to them. As we mentioned before, the barriers that they face can inhibit them from feeling connected, so having a strong personal relationship with a professional mentor in that nation will enhance their feeling of connectedness and therefore amplify the way that they view that culture. Overall, it will enhance their study abroad experience and provide unique opportunities that simply would not be available otherwise to them. So next, I'm going to pass it off for our feasibility section.
So UMN has many existing mentorship programs that have demonstrated effectiveness. For example, the CSE mentorship program that connects students with professionals in the STEM field, the Henry School of Public Affairs that connects UMN students with UMN alumni and professionals in students' area of interest, and then the International Buddy Program that connects students, current students with new international study students to form a global-minded community. And our program shares a lot of similar goals as the previous programs that we want to enhance communications, professional networks, and school-to-work transitions. But one difference our program from any other existing program is that we focus on a broader goal of creating a global-minded community that helps the future of US and China relationship. So here's a general timeline of our program and preparation. So first, we would want to start in May with the program promotions and outreach to professionals and students who may be interested, followed by registration opens. And then by mid-August, we would like to pair up the mentors and mentees as we have so far, because we want to send out their pairs and also our kickoff events by mid-September. Here's an example of the mentors and mentee sign-up forms. They include information such as like contact infos, majors, their earned degree, and also what are their current role as a students in school and their position in the industry. So once each of them have filled out the form, it will be processed in a spreadsheet that we will manually pair them up based on shared interest and goal. One thing I would like to highlight on the mentor form is that we ask mentors if they're willing to take more than one mentees. This creates a flexibility for us to arrange when there's more mentees sign up than mentors. So some possible roadblocks that we have is insufficient number of registrations, match care conflicts, lack of commitments, and financial constraint. So the first roadblock we're gonna likely to encounter throughout our program solution is not enough of participation. To increase that, we would like to promote our programs through social media. So we can do it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, school website to let students and professionals know that we have this program available. If a student is interested in a specific professional, then we can reach out through emails, personal reach out and see if their professional wants to be our mentors. And if not, we can also connect it through LinkedIn. And we can also utilize the large alumni network offered by the U of M called Maroon and Gold Network. It's a supportive community that specifically helps recent graduates, U of M alumni who has a strong desire to help and connect students with others. So I'm sure we're gonna find a great amount of mentors from there. And to increase the number of mentees, we can advertise our program to applicable student organizations, such as the Chinese culture clubs, and then career centers, and then also the learning abroad centers. The goal is we want to find the professionals and students who have shared interests and then find them through in both countries. So despite that we would try to pair mentors and mentee up based on registered information, there could be possible conflicts occur. There might be disinterest in them. So it's very important that in our kickoff event, we have forms like this for them to fill out so they can identify their goals in their mentorship experience, such as like what are they expecting from each other, what would they like to learn from each other, and what would they like to contribute as to form this strong mentorship program. So if there's a conflict still persist, like throughout completing this form, like they sound like, oh, we're not a good match, that's okay. We will try to identify and address them as soon as possible. If not, we can just repair them because we ask the mentor if they're willing to take more than one mentees. So this creates a flexibility for us to arrange. And then things can go unexpectedly that mentors and mentees got busy with their course schedules or work schedules that they couldn't come to our events. We will try to host a lot of fun social activities throughout the semester for them to participate, such as visiting museum, outdoor hikes, bowling competitions. And they just come if they need to. We will send them early so they can rearrange their schedules. The goal of our fun social events is just trying to encourage interactions and maintain engagements between mentors and mentees. And finally, we will definitely most likely to face financial constraint in hosting many mentorship events. We have sought out few resources on campus. So one is the student service funding. It's a U of M offer that helps student organizations in providing funds to host in the event. So we can request every semester with a $450 budget to host any mentorship events. And we can also invite companies to support our program, especially if we have mentors coming, a lot of mentorships from the same company. We want to form a partnership with them, which we introduce the company to our mentees while the company can also recruit from our program. So it's a benefits on both sides. And we can also organize fundraising events. Some of the events I have looked into is the 5K run or walk, which is very interesting because this event could eventually turn out to be more mentorship bonding events. Overall, I think once all the roadblock has been cleared, I believe that this program will have a positive impact on the China and US relationship by fostering a mentorship and professional growth mindset on the new generations.
So now we'll show you Rowan's video. She is traveling right now and the place she's visiting does not have stable internet connection. So she wasn't able to connect via Zoom, but we did have her do a recording in advance just in case. Which we will show you now.
The mentorship program will annually prepare a cohort of students to better understand the workings of the U.S.
For the
and China's workplace, and gradually to solve
Otherwise,
cultural tensions between these two cultural groups.
yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
First 3 years of our start date, that is intended to be September 2023, and the workings of the US and China's workplace, and gradually to solve cultural tensions between these two cultural groups. And looking at this program impact timeline, we could see that within the first 3 years of our start date, that is intended to be September 2023, our goal is to have an annual involvement of 100 UMN students, along with 100 UMN Chinese students, along with 35 UMN students at the Anti-College of Economics and Management with that collaboration based in Shanghai. And those will be studying abroad in China, which would help ease in their way and directly into a better internships as this city is one of the most developed cities, alongside 75 US-based mentors and 25 China-based mentors. And within the 10 years, approximately in May 2033, we will have further increased our sociocultural and economic understanding to more than 1,000 students, along with hundreds of mentors. As this program is extended to other universities as planned, the impact would be even further and higher. So our short run impacts for both mentees and mentors, starting with mentees, our mentees will have professional mentorship opportunities along with having the exposure to an enlarged professional network. Not to forget to mention the knowledge of daily operations of industries that these students will be exposed to in different cultures and different places. Mentors, on the other hand, will have the opportunity to teach and learn from students of different cultures by even being exposed to their unique cross-cultural approaches where students might use diverse work styles, soft and hard skills, and ethics that might differ, but at the same time might also enrich their surroundings and place. And as we're looking at the long run impact, we could see that these three pillars have the highest potential, starting with the business and social impact. Mentors and mentees will benefit by increasing their business and social knowledge and their empathy and skills related to interacting with individuals from different social backgrounds and groups. Moving on to the exposure, all participants will be exposed to opportunities to work peacefully alongside different cultures, which will help mitigate tensions and enhance the quality of the US-China relationship, one person at a time. And looking at the big impact relevant in the US-China relationship as such, creating a mentorship program that fosters healthy, mutually beneficial relationships between Chinese and American students and industries will be one step closer toward minimizing US-China tensions and creating a future of mutual understanding and collaborations.
So that was certainly a lot of information to go through, and we want to thank you all for your attentiveness because we believe that this program, if properly implemented, will yield great results. So to summarize everything that we've gone over, after highlighting the broader issues of the polarization between the US and China, we've identified our personal challenge as promoting sociocultural growth between American and Chinese students, and overall, through fostering those positive relationships, starting to mitigate US-China tensions one relationship at a time. Our solution was to form a bilateral mentorship program that offers both social and professional benefits for both parties involved. And with the resources available on campus, this is a program that we'd be able to implement even starting this fall. Overall, if this program is implemented and mentors and mentees engage properly, over the course of years, we hope to implement this in other University of Minnesota schools, other Big Ten universities, and universities nation and worldwide to further highlight the impacts that we can make. In years, we'll be able to see that US-China tensions gradually start to decrease, and on a personal basis, people will further understand and have a better cultural understanding of the other nation instead of feeling so polarized and ostracized from the other.